While they likely aren't on good terms today due to Vince McMahon's hostile takeover, for years it appeared that Stephanie McMahon was the next in line for the WWE empire. Even today, while she's not technically involved with the show, her husband, Triple H, still is. The former multiple-time champion is allegedly still in charge of WWE's television programming. That's a good thing, as Triple H has proved himself as a better booker than both Vince and Stephanie McMahon. However, the father and daughter business duo have a lot more in common than just that. However, they do have several noticeable differences as well. As previously mentioned, Vince and Stephanie McMahon do have quite a bit in common. Furthermore, one of the biggest things that they have in common is that they are similar bookers in terms of what they like to see on WWE television. For example, both McMahons love to insert themselves into major angles. Furthermore, they also seemed like booking heels strongly, as evidenced by Vince's obsession with Roman Reigns, and Stephanie inserting herself into the women's division for years. However, while Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon do have a lot of booking decisions in common, they aren't entirely on the same page. Notably, the head of the McMahon empire is far more willing to be embarrassed. That's not to say that Stephanie didn't take a beating at times in her career, but much of her career it was the opposite. For a long stretch of her time on television, she would just run down and embarrass actual talent that was wrestling. That being said, Stephanie McMahon does deserve credit for stepping into the wrestling ring. Much like her brother Shane, she didn't have to wrestle. Instead, she could have had a comfortable life getting a paycheck for doing simply back-office work. Instead, she, as well as Vince, have decided to step into the ring every once in a while for fans' enjoyment. To their credit, they've each been a part of some good matches and produced some massive moments. No offense to Stephanie McMahon, but she's not the wrestler that her brother or even her dad was. While Vince McMahon was never going to have a high-flying match like Jeff Hardy, or a technical classic like Kurt Angle, he did put on some great matches. Notably, his long-running feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin produced several good matches, and that's not even including his WrestleMania classics with Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan. This isn't really a slight on Stephanie, but her dad put on much better matches than he had any right to do. While they aren't on the same level of athletic talent, the fact that both Stephanie and Vince McMahon are willing to step into the ring shows their dedication. Not only to professional wrestling as a whole, but to the WWE in specific. Vince was so dedicated to the company that he literally led a succession-style hostile takeover earlier this year. While Stephanie left the company following that incident, few would doubt her dedication and love for professional wrestling. Stephanie McMahon's dedication and love for WWE cannot be questioned, but her departure does show a difference in personality from her father. Well, that combined with everything else that we've learned about Vince McMahon. The head of the McMahon empire is loud, boisterous, and very emotional with a lot of his decision-making. That's best shown by some of his aforementioned booking decisions, where he will occasionally have fan favorites lose just to push someone that fans don't really care for. When you're born into the McMahon family, it only makes sense that you're going to be interested in the business world. Stephanie, much like her brother Shane, has attempted to carve out their own legacy in the business world. While Shane attempted to build his legacy by leaving the WWE, Stephanie instead stayed with the company. Given her successes in the company, and working her way all the way up to CEO, that was likely a wise decision. Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon are both heavily invested in the business world. However, the way that they conduct business in the world is much different when compared. For her part, Stephanie has proved to be an enthusiastic and confident leader. However, Vince was a ruthless one. You don't make the WWE into the largest wrestling promotion on the planet without breaking a few eggs. Or in Vince's case, completely buying out your competition after driving them out of business.